a while. YouTube. No YouTube. We have so much subscriber. We don't have nobody. Hmm. Got a notification on my banner that I'm live. So, hi, Natty Nat. Welcome, the first person. Oh, there are more people here. Hey, Han. Hi, Sue. Hi, Shania Harvey. Hey, guys. I was not going to do any live today. Wasn't gonna do any live today. But I said, you know what? Haven't been over YouTube in a while. Let me pop on over so we can, run down recap. She's fine. She's here with me as usual. Tell us some good stuff. Tell you some good stuff. Shanoya, you want some good stuff? Joan, hi, Miss Bogdad, progress since the incident. I'm so happy. These messages disappear so quickly. Oh, what is a dangle? What year? Alright. Ford said, go and cock up in mom care. Ha ha. You a help Sarnia, yeah, help for promote Kayla and I cock up on my dashboard. I just can't wait to see Kayla walking. Me too, trust me. Alright guys. As you know, today is the 7th. The 7th of November. Good night, Nikki Powell. Good night. Today is the 7th of November, which marks 2 years. 2 years ago, on this date, my KK was attacked. It's, I won't say bittersweet moment because it's just bitter. This day, I wish it had never happened. And in spite of the things, let me put it like this, in spite of the things that has occurred or has been birthed or born out of this situation, I still wish it never happened. I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything, but I would have opted for my child not to go through this situation. I would have opted for my heart to not go through this situation. I would have opted out of all of it. And the truth is, it's a bittersweet, yes, moment because she's still here. She's still here, and we're giving God thanks for that. We're giving, excuse you. So, you see me on my live and come and knock your plate? Please to exit. So, guys, it is a bittersweet moment because I am happy that she's still here with us. I am happy that she's alive and well and she's still fighting and still pushing But 2 years ago tonight, we went out. I left her with her friends, and you know, it seems like yesterday because it is so fresh. It is so fresh in my mind, what happened, how everything happened, how it took place. I called her on my way home, and she said that she has a right to come home. She's waiting on the drive to pick her up, no, to go home. So she wasn't even partying at that time. She was just waiting to go home. And upon reaching my house, when you play it over in your head, you say, I should have go back for her. I should have did. I shouldn't leave her. I should have just insist that I took her home, because if I did, this wouldn't have happened for real. But share the live, guys. Share the live. Share the live. Share the live. Right? I don't know how to share it, so that's why I don't know if you share it. Because I don't know how. Oh, live. Oh, my God. YouTube. Hold on, guys. Right. So, you know, upon reaching home, I got a phone call from her friend that was there with her, and she was frantic, and she said that something had happened. There was a fight, and Kaylan got hit, and they're at the university hospital. You know, I I didn't panic. I was, because I was just going to see either she get a cut or she get a something minor, and then I would take her home. That was what I was thinking. I was thinking that that was gonna be the case, that I would just take her home. When I got there, and I was with my mother, um, when we got there, you know, the doctors came and greeted us, and they brought us in a room, you know, and said that, this happened. She came in, she wasn't conscious, and, you know, they don't know what's happening. Said, okay, we got up and we went and saw her. When I when I went in, guys, share the live. Remember to share the live. When I when I went to the bed that she was on, where she was, the curtains were drawn, and when I opened the curtains and went in, there were a lot of doctors. One, two, three, four, five, six, around six doctors or so around her. And they were doing all sort of stuff. All sort of stuff. They they her clothes, they had cut her clothes off, taken everything off, and they this is the first time I'm actually gonna recap this night on live, actually. Yeah. Um, this is the first time I'm gonna actually talk about this night on live, on air. Um, you know, and I tried avoiding this conversation today for some reason. I had the whole day. I was home all day, And I didn't go live from morning. I didn't talk about it. I asked Kaylan, today is what day? And she said, I don't know. And I said, today is the 7th of November. And she said, so what that mean? And I was like, you don't know what happened today? She's like, tell me. I don't know. And I'm like, today you don't know? I didn't say anything to her until just since night. Because it's my nephew's birthday. And I made mention of my nephew's birthday. And I also said, and today is the day that you got attacked. Casually, I said it, you know. When I got in there and I saw the doctors surrounding her, she was naked. They took everything off, her jewelry. They gave me everything in a clear plastic bag. They gave me everything in a clear plastic bag. Her jewelry, her underwear, her everything was bloody. Her shoes, because it was a Clark's party that she went to. Her Clark's, her grandmother bought that Clark's for her in London. The Clark's was soaked with blood. Her underwear was soaked. Her 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 dress. She had a little shorts underneath the dress that was wet and bloody as well. Her jewelry, everything was bloody. Everything was just stained with blood. No, so she does not remember that night. And she 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 was there on the bed. They had a lot of tubes and stuff on her. While we were there, we noticed that her stomach started swelling. Hi, Atasha's sister. That's my sister, my eldest sister. Um, we noticed that her tummy started swelling. Her stomach was swollen from here, under the breast, from the chest area, all the way. The entire abdomen was swollen, and it was just getting bigger and bigger. And the doctors were panicking because they didn't know what was causing this distension of the tummy. And her stomach swelled to the point where her back was arched off the bed. It was as if she wasn't lying on the bed. That's how much her back was arching, as if she was levitating. And we were panicking. Everybody was panicking. The doctors were running tests. They were trying this, doing that, doing everything. And they explained to me, they said, Mommy, when she got in, she had a cardiac arrest. We lost her for 6 minutes, but we got her back. There's a surgery that will be done because there's a stab wound to the neck. She had a stab wound here, the right side of the neck. There's a stab wound to the neck, and we need to get her into surgery immediately. I had to sign paper for them to do the dye filter thing with the blood. I had to sign documents for the surgery. I had to sign documents for a lot of stuff. I was just signing papers and signing papers. When I asked them, will this save her? They said, well, all we can do is try. But if she does not get the surgery, there's nothing we can do. She will die. And I signed the papers. I said, you know what? Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do to just to save her. Do what you need to do. Guys, I was so overwhelmed I could not stand. I couldn't stand. I was just gasping for air. At one point, was attending to me because I was gasping for air. I couldn't breathe, because everything, this, all these thoughts, everything, just the whole experience of seeing my child like that for the first time in her life. That, no, this is a child that I don't have to take to the doctor for any reason. Hi, Riri. Yeah, it looks like Regina. Hi, Richie. Regina says hi, Kaylin. Right? This is a child that I don't have to take to the doctor. When Kaylin was small, I took Kaylin to the doctor for like gastroenteritis, where she pick up something put in her mouth. And that was it. She gets some antibiotics and she go home. She's never had to stay in a hospital. She's never had any issues. When she was about 12, 13, I gave her ibuprofen and she had an allergic reaction to that. And took her to the doctor and then they gave her some antihistamine and some, so to, you know, and that was it. Kaylin is not a child that's sick. I don't have to take her to any doctor for any reason. Share the life, guys. Share, share, share. Right? And I was just dying because I don't know what's going on. When the doctor said that they lost her, she died cardiac arrest, and I'm like, cardiac arrest. Then what is happening? They're trying to gather information. So I pulled her friend and I asked what happened. She gave me a story that the girl said Kaylin look upon her, and Kaylin, she asked Kaylin why Kaylin look upon her, and Kaylin said why you look upon me, they take and see me, and the whole story. And you know I called some other family members. They came. Everybody was waiting. They rushed her to surgery. Now mark you, this surgery lasted. She went in to surgery around after 11, going 12 o'clock that night. And she never came out of surgery until the next day. So we were there until daylight, everybody bundled up, and we were just waiting, 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 waiting. And it was taking long. It was taking so long. And we were like, no man, this serious man, then what could not take so long? What could not take so long? This a take too long. And when the doctor finally came, um, they said that the surgery was successful. The damage wasn't as bad as they thought, and that she she is she is resting. No, they explained that she's unconscious. They explained that she has not woken up. She's in a comatose state. They explained that they're not getting any brain activity. They're not getting any responses, no stimuli, no nothing. But she's in recovery. All right. So when I went to recovery, um, I won't call the doctor's name, but the doctor came to me and he was like, Mommy, we don't know what's wrong. We don't know what's wrong, but she's not waking up. We don't have any reason, because they did a CT scan. The CT scan didn't show anything. They did x-rays, ultrasounds, blood tests. They did all all the tests that they had the knowledge to do. They did everything, but she was not responding. She was not waking up. They noticed that she had multiple blows to the head, right? Because during the fight, and this is the testimony of the person that took her off the ground. because when she got to the hospital, the doctor said that if they had been 5 minutes later, there would have been nothing they could have done. If she was 5 minutes later, she would have been dead, and there's nothing they could have done. So, from what I was told, the fight started, and this is an eyewitness who, this is the person who put her in the car. Because the person knows me, but she didn't know Kaylin because she said, we've never seen this girl before. So nobody knows who she is, but we were all looking at her because she did look nice, and her clocks unique and her style unique because her bag matched her shoe, right? And everybody was saying, oh, the little girl pretty, because she said even she was commending, oh, the little girl pretty and little girl neat, and she don't know her. So she said that when Kaylin, the fight started, and Kaylin stepped off. She said Kaylin wasn't in the fight, but the fight started from Kaylin because the girl had asked, but Kaylin's friend intervened, and the fight. No, no, she does not remember anything about that night. Um, what happened is when she stepped off, the girl, the woman, because it was the 45-year-old lady who hit her with the bottle. Yes, she's 45. Her daughter was involved in the fight, and her daughter was 20 something year old. So the 45-year-old hit her from behind with the bottle, so she immediately fell. She didn't get a chance to fight. So when she fell, I heard that they kicked her, stomped her, stomped her and kicked her and kicked her and stomped her, to the point where everybody was yelling, she's dead. And I was told that she was on the ground for almost an hour because nobody would touch her because everybody was saying that she's dead. So everybody was running up. People who take with themselves, I take with themselves because somebody dead now, Somebody dead. And she said she saw that like she took a breath or something, and she said, no, she not dead. Wanna help me. Nobody wanted to help her. Nobody wanted to touch the girl because they said she was dead. So it was as if she was the only one seeing that the child wasn't dead. Oh my God, I love this woman. I thank her. God Almighty. I thank this woman. It's today she came to my mind, and I said I want to get her a basket, just something to show my appreciation. I'm gonna get her a gift, something to say thank you, because all through this, I have not reached back out from I got her testimony. We have not spoken, but I think I'm gonna get her something and present it to her and thank her in person, because I have not done that, and I need to do that. Today it came to me to do it, and I'm going to be obedient and do it, because if this woman had not seen that my child was still alive and acted when she did, I would not have her to talk about today. So she took her up. She said nobody would help her. Nobody would help her. When she started yelling, and I said, "No, help me, I'm not gonna make the little girl dead. We're not gonna make the little girl dead." Everybody said, "But she dead already, she dead already." And she said, "No, she not dead, she not dead. When you help me put her in the car, no, help me." No, a whole heap of car me here so dead, and nobody wanted to take her up. Nobody. It's the guy that was having the party. He was the person, because he went to do a drop off, and he came back, I heard, and he was the person who opened his car door. They put her in. mm, they put her in, and they headed to the university hospital. Her friend said on the way to the hospital, she woke up and she was mumbling something, but she couldn't understand what she was saying. But she was mumbling something, but she went back down. So maybe that is when she got to the hospital, she had a cardiac arrest as she got there. Now when we were at recovery now, back to recovery. When we were at recovery, um, the doctor said, "Mommy, we have no brain activity. We're not getting anything from her, and we don't know what's happening." Guys, remember, I am a woman at that point did not believe in a God. I didn't, and I wouldn't say, I think I was more, when I look back now, I think I was more angry at God because I've also had a rough life, and I blamed God for a lot of the things that I went through. So I was rebelling against God, and I wasn't praying, and I wasn't seeking God, and I wasn't doing anything where God was concerned. But when I stayed at the hospital, and when I finally left the hospital the next day, and I got home the night, I I tried to pray, could not pray, could not pray. I went to sleep. Um, I woke up the morning. I heard, "When the midnight cries, I'll be going home." That's what I heard in my ears. I don't know if you guys know that song. It's a funeral song. It's a funeral song, right? And that's what I heard. Because the Lord tends to speak to me in music because I'm a musical inclined person. So I'll wake up 7 days of the week with 7 different songs. Sometimes the same song. But that morning, that's what I heard when I opened my eyes. And that's when I found the strength to pray. I'm telling him, I God everything. I tell God to take my life. I tell God to take everything from me. I told him to, I renounced myself. I gave him everything. I said, take Oscar, anything when I have. Anything. If you need a breath, take mine. If you need a soul, take mine. I gave God everything. I promise God that I will follow him to the ends of the earth. I promised him. I made so many promises. I said, just save my child. Anything you want, I will give you, God. Anywhere you want me to go, I will go. Anywhere you send me, I'll be going. I give God everything. And guys, when I finished praying, that's when I found that the weight was lifted off me when I surrendered everything to God. And today, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, today makes 2 years. And I can tell you this, my God has been faithful. He has taught me so much. He has humbled me. He has he has provided because it's millions and millions of dollars spent for this child to stay afloat, for this child to stay alive. Millions of dollars. I don't know when I'm going to finish paying the hospital bill, but I am not worried about it because I know God is making a way for that. And 2 years later, today, I can say to God be the glory. I can say, my God never fails. I can testify. There are times when the doctors call me and say, Mommy, the doctor called me one night and said, Mommy, come now. Kanan is not doing well. We don't believe she's going to live to see tomorrow. She's not going to make it tonight. And when I was so frantic, I couldn't drive. I had to have somebody drive me. Right? And when I got to the hospital and I run up in there and I said, God, you promised me. You promised me that you will save her if I follow you. You say if I surrender, you tell me, say if me worship, if me give you everything, you will. And let me tell you something. She had 2 cardiac that night. 2 cardiac arrests. And let me tell you a funny thing. That's why we have to learn to listen. We have to be obedient to the word. Learn to know when God will talk to you. And you have to spend time with God in order to know his voice. That night when she had those two cardiac arrests, I was on my phone on Instagram and Facebook and all of this. And let me tell you this. I heard a voice say, put on the phone. And I say, child, you know I need to go pray. And I hear the voice again say, put on the phone. Pray. And I say, 5 more minutes and I go pray, man. I hear like somebody shouting at my ears. And I say, put on the phone. I literally fling with the phone. Me fling with the phone. The way me frightened. And I got up and I went down on my knees in a Kaylan room and wrap up in our blanket. And I began to pray. And I pray and I pray and I broke. With it broke and I cancel. With it cancel. And at the end of that prayer, immediately as I finished prayer, my phone ring. And it was my friend Paula. Best friend Paula. Same one on the style was like give me the attire style and the makeup and nails and thing. Yes, she called and I said to Cheyenne, I said, tell her I'm tired, I soon call her back. And it's a good thing I didn't take that call. I didn't take the call. And immediately as Paula hung up the phone rang again. It was a unknown number, private number. And Cheyenne said, Mommy, private number. I said, give me the phone. When I answered the phone, the voice was, one of the E2s was on the night. And she said, Miss Buckley, you need to come now. Kaylin is not going to live to see tomorrow. We don't believe she's going to make it. She's not doing well. I tell you, say, my countenance fell. My countenance fell. And I was dying inside. So when I got to the hospital, I run past the security guard, I run past everybody. Nobody never saw me pass the wheel for me. I move fast. 2 years ago, I got the best birthday gift. Oh yes, Natasha, you did, right? And let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. When me run up in the ICU and me start ball upon God, I rejected death. Me tell God, me nah bury my pitney. Me say, me nah bury my child. Me nah bury my child. Me say, God, me nah accept no death. Me nah accept death. Death nah have no place here, so. Me not bury my child. I said, my child is gonna bury me. And that was the last cardiac arrest she had. That night when she had those two back to back, that was the last time she had a cardiac arrest. Right? And let me tell you, we eventually put in a pacemaker because we didn't want, but from when the doctors tested, they said that she has not used it so far. So to God be the glory. The heart has not shut down again from that night. Can I tell God, me nah bury my pitney. Sometime when we have family members that are sick, we have to reject that. We have to get up in a God's face and say, God, you me trust. You me believe in her. You me give me all. You me surrender to. You me a follow. You me worship. And we have to make God, we have to declare that we're not accepting death. We have to shut down death. We have to cancel death. I had to cancel it. Because me never make up my mind for bury my picnic. Me not gonna tell no lie. I was not going to bury my child. And today marks 2 years. We've been through a lot, you know. I'm not going to tell you in line. 7 episodes of sepsis. Because that night was what caused the cardiac. That night was septic shock. Right? There was an overload of bacteria in her blood. And that caused her to go into septic shock. Right? And let me tell you guys, all through it all, I'm looking back on how many times the Lord has instructed me to say this or to say that or to say this to the doctor, to ask that question. The Lord has been instructing me through this whole ordeal. And a lot of people, they ask all the time where I find the strength, where I do this, where it's all God. It's all God. It's all God. It's all God. Everything is God. Everything is God. It's on God. It's not me. Nothing is of me. Everything is of God. Everything is of God. God did it, not me. The only thing I did was speak the word. And God said, He is the word. From the beginning, He is the word. Until today, He's still the word. He is the word. So if every time you speak the word of God, you're speaking life because God is life. He is the life. He is the breath. And I am, you know, it is bittersweet because, a lot of things have been birthed. Ministry has been birthed out of it. You know, my 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 achievements, my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, my ministerial license has been birthed out of it. I'm an anger management coach, you know, and and all of these things has been birthed out of it. You know, I'm working on my EP, my gospel EP now, that is to be dropped soon. So, and all these songs have been written, not old songs, new songs that have been written, you know. Oh my God, I remember when she came out of the coma on my birthday. Yes, Tasha, I didn't say anything to Tasha. I cried tears of joy. Yes, Tasha, I remember she woke up um, on Natasha's birthday. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And we can hear the intelligence. Yes, I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot. I have learned to be humble. I've learned to be quiet because the Lord put me through a phase where I was just had to be silent because my mouth used to get me in a lot of problem, because I'm a very vocal person. I like to talk. I like to voice my opinion, but the Lord has taught me to be silent, to sit still, to peace, to just be quiet, to be quiet. So, and when I received His peace, it was nothing I could have paid for, because as I told you before, I was hurting from my own problems. I was hurting from my own past. I was hurting you know, from my childhood, the things that I went through as a child growing up. I was hurting from all of this. I was carrying a lot of baggage, a lot of weight that was stifling me, that was suffocating me, that I felt like I didn't want to live a lot of times. And because I've had to seek God so much for this child, it has brought me closer and closer to Him. And through coming closer and closer to Him, what has happened is I've developed a relationship with God. And this has given me a peace that I cannot pay for. I can't pay for it, guys. I can't pay for this peace that I've gotten. It is unexplainable. The world can be burning around me, falling down, and I would not panic. I will not panic, because there's something deep inside of me that is telling me that it is all right. It doesn't matter what's going on around me. The Lord is saying, it is okay. You're fine. I got you. And this is something that I can't pay for. No amount of money can replace the peace, His peace that surpasseth all understanding. And what does simply saying that when God's give you this peace, when God has given you His peace, you can't understand it, because you don't know how you stay calm. You don't know how you don't make this bother you. You don't know how you're not mad. You don't know how you're not panic. You don't know how you're not panicking. So today we celebrate life. Today we celebrate victory. Today we celebrate God's love, and His mercy. Today we celebrate the peace that he gives. Today we celebrate. Today, I might look a little bit down. I only get down when I have to recap all of this, when I go back into, you know, when I have to go back into that day, that I have to relive that day. And, Kaylan's entire journey coming up when she wasn't moving, how I got her to move. Guys, it's been a journey. I need to finish this book so you guys can get an insight view of every little detail of how our everyday life was in that place. The prejudice that I faced, the classism that I faced, there's so much that went on. It's a whole different world in that place. What I've seen, what I've heard, but God, but God, but God, but God, but God, but God, but God. One of the songs on my EP upcoming is How I Got Over. And the chorus says, God is able to do the impossible. God is able to break any chains holding you. God is able to mend what is broken into. It was God, it was God, it was God. Let me tell you, it was all God. Hallelujah. The anointing is all over me. Praise be to God. God is able to do above and beyond anything we could ever ask or think. Anything. Just think about that, the word anything. Remember, God is able to do above. That means anything you can think of, he can go above it. Anything your mind can conceive, God can do bigger. So when you think about one like a 2-bedroom house, gotta think about a mansion. When you think about $1 million in your account, gotta think about $1 billion. When you think about to buy 2 pair of shoes, gotta think for your entire closet. This is how our God, he never gives less, he always gives more. And all I asked for him to save this child. And he gave me music. He gave me songs. He gave me ministry. He gave me a college degree. I never got a chance to go to, I finished high school, but I couldn't afford to graduate because I couldn't pay for the graduation. And look at what my God has done. He has opened doors. I met some amazing people. I met some people that are in high places. I am now friends with people that are in high positions. That is the God I serve. All I wanted for him to do was save her life. And he gave me that and much more. That is the God that I serve. That is the God I serve. He's limitless. That is another song on my EP, Limitless. My God's limitless, awesome God. He is powerful, awesome God. He is amazing, awesome God. Awesome God, oh, he's an awesome God. That is the God that I serve. These songs are being written, and I don't write these songs of myself. None of the songs that I am writing for this EP is of me. There's one song on it that I went to my bed and I dreamed of an old African lady, an old slave lady. She was on a plantation back in slavery days, an ancestor, an old ancestor, and she said, write the song from the pit to the pulpit. Write it from the pit to the pulpit, from the pit to the pulpit. And I wrote the song. When I woke up and I called Atasha, my sister that you see, and I said, God, me get a dream. But the lady, one old African lady, an old slave lady. She said, you hear me say? If you write the song, from the pit to the pulpit. Because I know where I was. My phone battery. Me go change my position. I knew where I am coming from with God. I know. Just plug it in my phone. Right? Good. I know where I am coming from with God. I know what He has done. I know what He has taken me from. I know how far I have come, and I have come a mighty long way. I have survived every kind of abuse. I have survived every kind of neglect and hurt. My sister Tasha, she can tell you, she knows, she's been there. She's lived through with me. She's talked to me sometimes as she have to take me out of my dark place. Right? She have to take me out of my dark place. And I see where God has brought me now. I see where God has brought me now. On My Knees is one of the other songs on the EP. I made a promise that I intend to keep. God said He'll fix it if I would only yield. If I surrender, He'll give me what I need. So I'm holding to His promise, praying at His feet. And I tell you, I get on my knees and I pray. Down on my knees I pray to you, oh God. On my knees I pray, oh Holy One. On my knees I pray to you, oh God. On my knees I pray, 'cause you are my God. God, He will take you to any circumstances. He will take you to anything. He just wants to know that your heart is in the right place. He just wants to know that your heart is in the right place. You have to completely surrender to God. He will heal you. He will heal you from the inside out. Same way He healed my child. He's working from the inside out. Mark you, she's not where she's supposed to be in my book. Because I want her dedicated. But He's working on her still. So she'll get there. She'll get there. Remember, we're all different. We're all unique. And God takes His time. Some of us need a little bit more marinating. Some of us need a little more. He has to work on us a little bit longer. Right? And she is, I would say, she still has issues to work out. She still has things that she needs to give to Him. So we're not at the same place. So, you know, we just have to take our time and complete surrender. Complete surrender. Complete surrender. Complete surrender. And the minute you give God your all, the minute you give Him everything, and you say, look, this is it, and you make up a decision. Because remember, He knows whether you're going to turn back. For the people who saying that, me no want next year, me go backslide, or me no want go backslide. God knows whether you will. Remember, everything in your life is ordained. It's predestined. It is already predestined. So He knows. He knows what you're going to do. If you're going to tell a lie tomorrow, He knows. If you're going to backslide tomorrow, He knows. He already knows it. And forgiveness is there for us all. It's there for us all. It's not a license to go and presumptuously sin, but just know there's no sin beyond his redemption. There's no sin that he will not redeem you from. If you come with a broken spirit and a contrite heart, if you come in complete surrender to him, and I surrender to him, and he has worked my miracles. And he's still working my miracles. I remember the first day Kaylin responded, I went into IC and I was like, God, with the tears in my eyes, I was like, God, I'm believing you for a miracle. I'm believing you for a miracle. I'm believing you for a miracle. And I had my eyes closed the whole time and I was just there and I was touching her and I was praying to God and I was saying, God, I'm believing you for a miracle. I am believing you for a miracle. And the E2 that was on that day, the doctor that was on that day, when she came in and she started examining Kaylin, because at this point, she was awake, but she was not responding to anything. She wasn't responding to stimuli. She wasn't responding to sound. She wasn't responding to voice. She wasn't responding to anything. And that day, the same time, I was saying, God, I am believing you for a miracle. When the doctor came in and she started examining Kaylin, and she put the light in her eye, Kaylin eyes dilated. No, Khadija, she's 19. Her eyes dilated and her eyes responded to the light. And she said to Kaylin, stick out your tongue. And Kaylin went like that. And trust me, she turned to me and she said, Mommy, Mommy, this is the first time Kaylin has ever responded. This is the first time she listened, and when she said stick out her tongue, Kaylin stuck out her tongue. And that is how we know that, yes, she's coming back. She's coming back. And I prayed for that miracle. I asked God. I told him I'm believing for it. So when I tell people that I'm believing God for this miracle, I am believing for it. Now, Kaylin has another surgery coming up. You all know that. She has another surgery coming up. And this surgery is on the end of this month. The ending of this month. So I want you guys to keep her in prayer. Because remember, a prayer we use and win. Remember, God is our fighter. Remember, God is our healer. He is our doctor. He is the great physician. So we want everybody to remember her in prayer. Right? There's a stenosis above the trach. It's scar tissue, overgrowth of scar tissue that has blocked the trachea. So if we take out the trach, she will not be able to breathe through her nostril. And we want her to be able to breathe normally, just like we do. And the only way we can get her to take her off this machine is to do this surgery so that she can breathe. Right? So the ending of this month, there is a surgery. Right? Guys, keep her in prayer. Guys, you all know that the GoFundMe is up. Everything is up just the same. And we have to pay for everything. So if the Lord lays anything on your heart to bless so that we can cover these costs, we appreciate that. But most importantly, what I want you to do is to talk to God about her. Remember her in your prayers. Tell God, remind him of his promises to us. Remind him how he promises never to leave us nor forsake us. Remind him how how merciful God he is. Remind him that he's the God that never fails nor falters. Remind him the God that he is and where he stands in our lives and how we depend on him, because he's the only source we have. We depend on no other source but God. No other source but Jesus Christ of Nazareth. So, guys, remember Kaylin in prayer. I will give you further update because we're going in on the 16th for preparations for the surgery, blood work, and x rays and stuff like that. So, after that, on that day, I will give another update when we get back from the hospital and let you guys know where we stand with that. So, it push, pray until something. Yes, yes, yes. So, guys, it has been my pleasure giving you a recap on that night and letting you know that we're still here, we're still fighting, we're still pushing, and we're still victorious in Christ because our God never fails, He never falters. He doesn't slumber and He does not sleep. So we know He's constantly watching, He's constantly intervening on our behalf. He's constantly opening doors and He's constantly making a way because He is the way maker. He is Jireh, the provider. So we know God is above all our circumstances. He's above, He's God above everything. God above everything. So have a blessed night. Have a blessed night. I was just telling someone about her. So this is confirmation of the Holy Spirit I talked about because, okay. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And keep us in your prayers as we continue to push, 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 push. As we continue to pray until something happens. God is with you. He's merciful. He's faithful. He's a loving God. Have a blessed night, guys. Almost an hour on here talking to you guys. If you guys have any questions, I'll take a few quick questions and then I'll go. I'll take a few quick questions before I go because people normally floods my inbox and asking questions, and sometimes I have a lot of people asking the same questions. So I'll take a few quick questions and then I will go. The girls, I don't know anything about them, so let me put that out first before anybody asks me that because that's one of the most common ones. Um, Kaylan is fine. She's in good health. She's blessed. She's getting stronger day by day. Because we trust in God and we continue to work hard and to push through. So other than the surgery for the tracheostomy, she's fine. Other than that. The ladies, I know nothing about them. Don't know where they are. They were out on bail for the last time I heard. And they're still out on bail. The case is not being called up until next year, November again. I guess they want to know if Kaylin is going to make it. Disclaimer for them. She made it. Um, they want to see how well she recovers, I think, why they have pushed the case so far. But other than that, we're blessed and we're trusting God. Continue to show your support. Continue to donate if you can, because we do need the donations. And continue to pray because we need prayer more than even the donations. So, God bless you guys. God bless you. Have a good night.